Well, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. All of you wonderful people. Dean Bryant, bless your heart. Good afternoon to you, sir. We're so glad that you're here with us with the time change. We needed to move it back a half hour because we had therapy this morning. And with the roads being as crazy as they still are, I just wanted to make sure that I have ample time to be able to get back and to share with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Doing better. Therapy is therapy. And if you've ever had therapy before, it hurts. Boom. But it is what it is, and it does what it does, and it does it well. So good afternoon to you, Stephanie, Nancy, Debbie. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. Thank y'all so much for being here with us on a wonderfully snowy, um, cold, going to get colder, going to get crazy um, afternoon. And so we're grateful and thankful to each and every one of you. Cora, bless your sweet potato soul for being here. Minister Sarah Jenkins, thank you so much for being here with us on today. Sharon, Kathy, Lavonda, wonderful seeing you again as we continue to grow in the knowledge of our Lord and to do and be everything that God would have us to be. I pray that you are staying safe. I pray that you are staying warm. Laverne, how are you? Bless your heart. Um, I pray that God is just moving in your life and in your lives at an unbelievable level. And if not, wait on Him. Sherry, how are you this afternoon? Thank you so much for being with us on today as we continue to do and to grow and to be everything that God would have us to be. So, as Nancy has done, would you please be so kind to share? Thank you so much, Iris, for letting us know that all is well. And for those of you who are watching live, and then for those of you that will watch later, we pray that you are taking care of yourself. Sylvia Scott, how you be? How you be? How you be? Good to see you. So, I got a couple of minutes before I go ahead and jump into the remainder of this lesson, and I pray um, that those of you who were on the midweek were blessed by the word of the Lord that went forth. Because as we continue to grow and to develop and to build, it's important that we remain as consistent as we possibly can because we understand things happen. People have stuff that they need to do. Linda Brown, bless you. And, it is what it is. Denise, how are you? Okay. I'm glad. Vincent, bless your heart. Deborah, thank you so much for being with us on today. Pat, how you doing? Uh, and good midday, good afternoon to you as well. And okay, I just want to make sure that I'm doing all I can to be a blessing. Elder Carter, how is you? How you be? Praying that you be well, that all is going well with you as we continue to develop and to grow together. Tamika, how are you? Ella May, dear, glad you're doing well. Valerie, tell Dad we said hello. Barbara, thank you so much for being with us. And continue to keep Thelma lifted up in prayer. The homegoing celebration of her son will be on the 25th of January. And so we want to make sure that we keep her and her family lifted before the Lord. It's going to be an extremely difficult moment, but God is a Joe Wilson. How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for being here. Carolyn Williams, bless you. Ethel, hope you and family are doing good. and that God is blessing. Listen, I want to finish this up. I want to finish up Isaiah 40. And what I want to do is look at verses 30 and 31. In the midst of the series that we have done and are doing, and those things that are yet to be done, we need to make sure that we understand that God is with us, that the God of the universe, the God of all and everything. Shirley Brumfield, how are you? And that he shows us who he is, and we have to get past. Remember, if there's anything that you got out of the lessons that are coming, that have come forth, is you got to know that God is love, and that love is not a feeling; it's an action. Good afternoon to you, Minister Faith Thornton. And we've got to get to the point that we control our emotions and our feelings, which every now and then is a little difficult to do. And the reason it's a little difficult to do is because we are emotional people. We function off of our emotions. We feel God in a different way than everyone else does. And so, in the midst of this is what we need to recognize. And when you look at Isaiah 40, verse 30, it says, "Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall." Dr. James Mansell, Dr. Pamela Mansell, thank y'all so much for being here on this great afternoon. And so, no matter how strong you are, hey Herma, how are you? No matter how resilient you may be, no matter how enthusiastically astute that you are when it comes down. Hey, Lori, how are you? Thank you so much for being here with us on this afternoon. You got to remember that there will come times and there will come moments when weakness shows up, when ambiguity begins to manifest itself, when circumstances and situations begin to develop themselves in such a way that you wonder where God is. Trinette, bless you. Thank you for being here this afternoon. That's the one thing that gets many of us in trouble. And I talked about it a little bit, especially those of us who are self reliant. You have to remember that you can't be strong all the time, because Paul says, when I'm weak is when I'm strong. And so it's in those moments of vulnerability, it's in those moments of inconsistency, it's in those moments that when we think we got it together, and we think we're functioning well, and come to find out we ain't really doing as well as we think we are. The thing that I love about God is, in the midst of this text of showing us the vulnerabilities that takes place, he also shows us how he will strengthen us and renew us. I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know about anybody else, but the 23rd Psalm, everybody talks about that. But he will renew. He will renew you. He will restore you. And so, Elder Treese, how are you, sir? Good to see you, my friend. And so, in the midst of this, because I want to look at verse 31. Excuse me, I really want to hang my hat on verse 31, because if there's anything that you ought to be able to, and as I'm sitting here teaching about this, I was given a gift from the district, and I've got it on my wall. There's an eagle, a huge eagle that's there. And so when it says, "But they that wait on the Lord," now this is a powerful term, because it's not talking about sitting on your behind waiting for God to show up or waiting for God to do something. It actually refers to someone who is a waiter, waiting on someone. Oh, my order is ready. Waiting on someone or something. Like when you go into a restaurant, it's a waiter. Okay. And what does the waiter do? The waiter provides what the person needs. And so, what it's saying here, uh, uh, but those who wait on the Lord, those who continue to serve, those who continue to provide. This is important, because somewhere along the line, you've got to recognize that even in the moment of transition, or even in the moments of uncertainty, you still have an obligation to function. You still have an obligation to serve. You still have an obligation that is overwhelmingly important. And so what happens is, that as you're waiting on the Lord, like a waiter does, as you're waiting on the Lord, and in the midst of waiting on the Lord, you're actually fulfilling the assignment given to you. Now, it's kind of hard to fulfill something that you're not really sure is, and that's something that's coming up with our church. As soon as the weather breaks, the whole church is going to be tested for their spiritual gifts. Because in order for us to be a functioning church, we got to know what God has gifted us with rather than what we want to do. Catch what I'm saying. Catch what I'm saying. Because this is overwhelmingly important. Many people are square pegs in round holes because we are traditionally doing some things that everybody else has done, and God may not have gifted you to do that. God may have actually gifted you to do something completely and totally different. Mm. And so it says here, they that wait on the Lord, they that consistently make themselves available to the will of God, and not just make themselves available, but actually function in it. Lord, have mercy. Okay. Shall renew their strength. And here's one of the most powerful things that God does in the renewal of your strength. And many of us probably have never paid any attention to it, because as long as I remain docile, I remain weak. As long as I remain complacent, then I remain compliant. As long as I am sitting back feeling sorry for myself, I have not availed myself to the renewal process of God. Let me tell you how God works. I hope you catch this. Let me tell you how God works. As you are serving the Lord, as you are waiting on the Lord. Now, somebody might say, well, how do I wait on the Lord? Serving humanity, serving your brothers and sisters, being available, praying, whatever the case may be, because not all, Katrina, not all service is from a pulpit or a choir stand or a praise team or a deacon or a deaconess or a trustee. I wish, hey, Katrina Foster, what you've got to understand, waiting on the Lord is not a Sunday morning function. Sunday morning is your reasonable service. Waiting on the Lord means every day of your life that you exist and every experience that you have is designed for you to be a blessing to somebody else in some way. And when I talk about being a blessing, it doesn't necessarily mean going into your pocket and giving them money. But some of the greatest blessings that can ever happen, here, catch this, is when you deposit into them a word from God that will strengthen them in their most vulnerable moments. Jaleesa, how are you? And many of us get it twisted. Many of us think that if I do something in the building, that I'm waiting on the Lord. No, 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 no. And if we had more people who understood what waiting on the Lord was really all about, can you imagine the impact the church would have on society? But it's so busy, Gail, trying to entertain itself. The church is so busy trying to exalt itself. The church is so busy trying to compete with itself that it's leaving out an entire world and an entire neighborhood and an entire society that needs to know that Jesus lives. Let me go. Let me deal with this. So in the midst of this, okay, they shall renew their strength. He said, and they shall mount up with wings as eagles. Now, this is powerful because if you understand, eagles have extremely expansive wings. And the reason that they do so is the reason that God has given them that is so that they can navigate the winds to their favor. WINDS. They can navigate the winds to their favor without exhausting themselves. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. God, when he renews you, will cause your wings to spread, and the winds of life, the winds of opportunity, the winds of whatever, even some winds of opposition will come your way, but you'll know how to navigate it. Rather than it destroying you, you will learn how to navigate it to take you to a higher height of service in the Lord. Because you got to remember something. If you're faithful over a few, he'll make you rule over a many. But if you ain't doing nothing with a few, he ain't gonna give you many. And so, in the midst of this, they learn how to navigate the wind. They don't even have to flap their wings much. All they got to do is navigate the wind, because God sometimes sends different kinds of situations and different kinds of wind your way, and you got to know how to navigate it, because if you're gonna go higher in the Lord, you gotta know how to navigate on the lower level on how to get there. And so they know, they can sense which way the wind is, and then they tilt and they turn themselves in such a way so that the updraft takes them higher than they could ever go before. Here's my question. If you're not waiting on him, what are you waiting on? Is it sounding like Sunday morning? If you're not waiting on him, what are you waiting on? I gotta go. I gotta go. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So, whatever age category you are in, and whatever level of functionality that you are existing in right now, you live victoriously, because the victory that is given to you isn't yours. He's already won the battle, he's just energized you enough to participate in the win. Listen, listen, listen. I want y'all to have a blessed day. Please be careful. Please be safe. Brenda, do what you need to do. Um, this is so important for you to take care of yourself. Listen, Sunday should be, hey, Mary, Sunday should be a good day um, for going to church. It won't be too hot, too cold. But on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be crazy. So listen, listen, listen. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to start something else tomorrow. And so I pray that you were blessed today. I pray that what the Lord allowed me to share with you got your attention. Because if we are going to change the atmosphere, if we're going, as Bishop Paul Morton would say, if we're going to change a generation, we've got to be equipped to navigate the winds of life so that others can see how to fly. Woo, I love y'all with the love of Jesus, who is the Christ. Y'all stay warm out there. May God bless you. May he keep you, is our prayer.